Hello, and welcome to Film Cocktails, your one-stop show for cocktail recipes and movie reviews. So last night, we watched Lost City of Z, and we're going to make a purple passion tea to accommodate this. So now let's get mixing. I did that earlier, actually. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you might have noticed my mustache. Tom Holland at the end of the movie has a little stash, and this is I'm honoring him. I like the stash.
I'll be locking my door tonight.
There's a major exploration afoot.
Terrible disease, murderous savages. The journey may well mean your life.
Lost City of Z, directed by James Gray.
And starring Charlie Hunnam, Robert Pattinson, Sienna Miller, and Tom Holland.
And Ian McDermott.
Oh yeah, Ian McDermott.
Palpatine.
Now, young Skywalker, you will die.
Emperor Palpatine shows up in this.
Unlimited power!
Except he died in the movie.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh, spoilers, sorry.
He didn't have a lot of power. Okay, I was semi-excited for this movie. The trailer wasn't anything spectacular, but I was expecting a exploration, survival, Amazonian movie. And what you got was talking, 2.5 hours of talking, politics, and a little bit of Amazon exploration.
Lots of politically correct arguing.
Oh yeah. What do you think of the drink? How's the drink we made?
I'm liking it. It's
It's a little fruity, a little sweet, not a lot of alcohol.
It's got like a refreshing flavor to it.
It's a good summer afternoon drink sitting on the porch.
I also, I saw the trailer and was pretty excited for it. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's a big summer movie, but I was expecting something a little better, like a survival movie in the Amazon would have been nice. But it's nothing was interesting about this. I was bored the whole time.
It has a great idea and a great premise, but bad script writing and bad acting really brought it down.
Yeah,
Just made it boring. We both fell asleep at different parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Charlie Hunnam gets recruited by the Royal Geographical Society in England to chart out unknown regions of Bolivia to try to find routes through the Amazon. He gets there, he meets local tribes, and hears different stories, and discovers that there might be a hidden city in the Amazon forest called the City of Z, or Zin. So he gets shipped back to England. He presents his idea to it might have been the Parliament, or it might have been the Royal Geographical Society.
I think it was the Royal Geographical Society, but there was no establishment of that. It was like he's just in front of these people,
he's just like
talking about what he found, and it could have been anybody. And
he presents his ideas. There's this one douchebag who's just How do you know it's there? You're never going to find it. No one will ever find you. And they're all just hissing and
then they're like, pots and pans!
Yeah.
Pots and pans!
He finds a clay pot in Bolivia and thinks that's part of the evidence for the civilization that's lost. And they go, that's just pots and pans. And they all go, pots and pans! It's so stupid.
It is. It was terrible.
And then one guy, he stands up and says, I'll fund your trip. Let's leave immediately, henceforth today.
And then everyone just supports him after
all
that.
of a sudden, the idea is great because this one guy started supporting him.
And so he goes on a second adventure into the
Robert
wilderness.
Pattinson, which is his main buddy in the movie.
And they meet up on the first trip. They meet up and are somewhat at odds, and then they kind of come together. And that started off somewhat interesting because he thinks he's being followed by this guy on the boat.
Yeah.
And then he's like, who are you, sir? And puts his gun in his face. And
like, I'm with you. I'm trying to help you.
yeah, and he's like, I waited a week to see if you were fully committed. It's like, what the fuck? Just why don't you guys just talk to each other in the beginning of this?
The guy that funded the trip. So he starts kind of sabotaging the mission. They're going down some rapids, and he makes the boat off balance, and they lose half of their supplies. And then he eats all this chocolate and candy that Charlie Hunen's kids sent, and he has this wound, and he's slowing him down, and he's just really nuisance, really hindering the trip. And that was the cool dynamic I thought was cool, having someone hold him back. There was conflict. A lot of the movie you just didn't have a lot of conflict, and even when the Indians came out of the forest to shoot arrows, it was just
it's just the most boring scene.
They go they just avoid it. They just
okay, this is the arrow part. All right, got it. One guy dies,
And they get close to finding the city, but they run out of food and have to go back.
Yeah, there's no danger throughout it. And
then Tom Holland's like, I'll go with you, Father. We'll find it together.
There's
It is our destiny.
There's no reason for a character change right there. And they're just like, oh, we need one, so we're going to put it right here.
And he had no motivation. He wasn't an obsessed person trying to find the city like you'd think he would be.
And that was something that I initially was very disappointed in. I figured he was even before the movie started, the backstory is he's heard about this place and he's done research about it and he's found stuff that proves that it's there, and he just kind of stumbles upon it and for some reason gets interested in it. Whenever they're in the jungle finding the pots, it's okay, it's fucking pottery in the jungle, but why? And
it's he's all of a sudden that's his life's goal.
His motivation was very lacking for that, or at least it felt that way to me.
The positive, the little bit of tension between the financial backer and the crew was good. The World War One scene was okay. Other than that,
I would say Cedric Diggory's character was my positive. I was more interested in him than I was in anyone else. My negative would be cinematography. It's just boring, flat shots. The lighting is barely there in some of them. It's we have the curtains open. That's enough for lighting, and that was it. And
the pace is terrible.
Yeah,
it could have been an hour shorter, and it might have been a precise and condensed movie. It might have been entertaining.
This movie was 2.5 hours long, and it felt like 5 hours.
Yeah, I cannot recommend it unless you want to go and watch a long, drawn-out, politically correct movie about raving and ranting a fool.
They didn't feel like people with the political correctness, or just the way they were. Maybe that was the style of
the way it was written. It's it didn't feel like it was genuine at all.
Yeah, it felt very forced. And
I would say maybe. No, I'm just gonna say skip it. Don't watch it. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. Harsh, I know, but we didn't enjoy it. The ending. After World War I, he gets his epiphany and wants to go back, and Tom Holland wants to go with him. And he has to beg his wife to come, but there's not a lot of begging, and he's surprised that he lets him go. So they set off on this mighty adventure, father and son, akin to the great stories of Icarus. So, what the fuck am I doing?
What the fuck was that? Okay, so at the end of this movie, and I don't give a shit about spoilers. If this movie requires a spoiler alert, you can just, fucking shove a tripod up your ass, okay? So here's what happens. They go, and they run into these two tribes, and then this one tribe takes them, and then there's this whole candlelight ceremony where they get poisoned or paralyzed or fuck, I don't know what the fuck was going on at the end of this movie, and then they get drug off into a river, and then it fades to fucking black, and Sienna Miller is just sitting there in the fucking office with a goddamn compass that you don't even know where that fucking came from. And then they're like, oh, let's take the compass goes to the city of Zed, so you know that means they found the compass, that means they got there. Well, why don't you send some people there to go get them? Well, I don't want to do that because they kept sending people there. So fuck this movie. Just fuck it. I'm fucking done.